my channel. My name is Danae and I'm in Iowa. I'm Zone B and I'm a flower farmer. And this is my 4th year of growing flowers. In October, it'll be my 5th year of flower farming. That's when I started tilling up the ground and getting it all ready for the next year. And in my first 2 years, I did a lot of videos. I don't remember if it was my 2nd year. I think it was my 2nd year. I actually took a video every single day and went through everything that I was doing on the flower farm, from like when it started to when it ended. And I would walk around every day and just say what I was doing, and I went through all the processes that I do. And then last year, I kind of like fell off the face of YouTube, and not because I wanted to do videos, and I was always like, oh, I need to get a video out. Maybe I'll do it while I'm making bouquets. Maybe I'll do it while I'm doing field work. But I got really busy and I just felt like something had to go because I didn't have time to like edit the videos at night mainly. I mean, dragging a camera out, I did drag a camera out and I would like video things that I did, but then I would get home and it would be late and I knew I had to get up early and do it all again, and I really didn't have time to do the editing portion of the videos. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try to get a video out. I've had a lot of people just reach out to me and ask if I'm okay. I'm okay. Life's been good. My flowers have been good, and I've just been really busy with life. So I thought I might just talk a little bit. I know I'm inside, I'm not outside. We'll do a walk later this afternoon after I get all of these delivered, and I'll just kind of show you some of the changes that I've done on the flower farm. But I'm gonna grab some tulips. I'm just gonna add a few in here. And you might be thinking, wow, you're in zone 5B, you still have tulips. I do. So I pull all my tulips by the bulb and I put them in my black buckets. I just have these black buckets and I fill them with tulips, and I put the bulbs in my cooler and I keep it around like 32 degrees, and I'll put water in the bottom and then it'll go dry and they'll kind of start to look limpy, and then I'll just add just a tiny bit of water to the bottom of the bucket and they kind of pick back up. And I've had really good luck. I have some lavender tulips right now that have been in since April, and I have cut them, I put them in bouquets. They still grow in the vase, they open, they look beautiful. Some of the flowers, you know, they get the little like brown tip and stuff like that, and then I'll toss them. They've just been in there too long, or maybe they got too dried out. But it seems to be working really well for me. So that's what I do. So I'm gonna add a few tulips to just these, and then I have these all to go deliver, which the farm is about 10 miles out of Knoxville, but then I have deliveries all over. So usually my delivery process, I also have a bunch of wrap bouquets in buckets that I don't have sitting out because I already put the tulips in those. But I'll go around and get all my deliveries done, and then I'll be back. I'll probably have some lunch and be back in the afternoon because it's quite a bit of deliveries to do. And I like to catch up with people and see how they're doing if they have time. And you know, it's just kind of my day to be with people, because otherwise I'm on the farm like every day all by myself. I do have a new addition to the farm. I have a cat named Rubble. He is out chasing mice or ground squirrels or rabbits or something. He likes to bring them to me. It's a lot different than a dog, but we like him. So anyway, I'm gonna grab those tulips. I'm just gonna pluck a few in, and then I'm gonna get these delivered, and I'll walk around the farm and tell you some of the things I've updated. So I thought maybe you'd wanna come with me into my cooler. I think I showed this whole process in the year that we built it, but we just took this little screened in porch and we turned it into a little flower cooler. As you can see, I still have some tulips. This is how I store my peonies. I just put them in these crates, and I've been going through those like crazy, but I have quite a few peonies. I have allium. I'm starting to run low on allium. I have some of my greens that I cut. It's from a unanimous bush. And I have baby's breath, yarrow. Let me see if I can. Oh. I have some butterfly weed. larkspur, yarrow, and I've got some baby's breath that I grew. So that's the cooler. It's looking a little bare, other than obviously tulips and peonies. They kind of keep me going in this dry spell during June. So yeah, so my alliums, my peonies, and my tulips, obviously they kind of keep me going. I picked all of the lilies out of my yard because every year, no fail, the deer eat all my lilies out here at the farm. So this year, I think I am going to order lilies, and I'm going to put them inside my deer fence. And I usually use my deer fence for annuals, but I've decided to kind of take a quarter of my deer fence, and I'm going to put some perennials in it. Just for new people that maybe like, what is this girl inside talking about? I'll just show you real quick. And then I've got to get to that because I have deliveries to do this morning. But this is kind of my flower farm. I'm going to be real quick. So I'm just going to walk fast and talk fast. Okay, so here are all my peonies. I have 178 peony bushes. And they were beautiful. I'll throw a picture up on the screen. Because I obviously didn't get them all cut. Those are the remnants. But last year I did bring in, I used to have it, so for 4 years I had these on this black, you can see on the lavender here. I had black landscape fabric down, but I felt like they couldn't grow and get as big. So I did order an entire semi-load of mulch last year. I ripped up all of my black landscape fabric and I put them around the peonies. I do need to come out and get after some of that grass. But for the most part, I did get these all weeded the other day. That's my main job. I did have a lavender field, and there are some lavender plants doing well. But lavender did not fare this winter for me. All 4 years it came up beautifully. But this year, like if you look, but this year most of the plants don't look like they're coming back. And then these need weeded, but I have some salvia, my lupine. This is my row of yarrow. And this is just kind of a perennial field. I have larkspur, and that's where all my alliums were. Obviously now the grasses and weeds are starting to grow up, but the alliums come up before that. And I probably will add to my allium collection. Last year, I had plenty of allium, but the more flowers I sell, I start running out of things. And this weedy mess will get mowed down very soon. But these are all daffodils. So this is so many daffodils, I can't even get through them all. So I have plenty of daffodils, but I wait until this foliage, I wait until all of that turns brown, just so that bulb gets enough regeneration for the next year to create a pretty bloom, and I go with that. And then here I have, this is just kind of random stuff, but I have some bachelor buttons, and they come back every year. I don't use a ton of them because they take a lot of time to strip and clean, and they're not worth it. I have some blue sea holly. It's starting to do a little better. I started another perennial field up that way, and I got the balls of blue sea holly. And then I have my annual field, which I was just talking about. And this is where I have things like, right here is all of my Lysianthus. Behind that, straw flower. And then I have Snapdragon. And I have Celosia, Zinnia. My sunflowers are getting pretty tall. Over here I have Status and Gomphrena, and I have some Successions, but this quadrant right here, I'm thinking of trying to kind of make that like a perennial in the deer fence, because I did a whole video. This fence, I've never once, knock on wood, never once had a deer in my flower field, and there are about, well, last year there were, let's see, no, 5 years ago, I think there were 5 to 7 deer, and they would run from that timber, and they run through, and they go by all the time, and they'll nibble on different stuff, but they've never been in my deer fence. One year, the outside line was ripped down, but I found it and then put it back up, and that's all I've ever had. I've never had a deer in my flower field, so that's awesome. I have a video on that, so look it up, because that deer fence is easy to put up, it's easy to install, it's easy to take down, and it works every year. So anyway, up here I started another group of perennials. And then I also planted about 1,500 gladiolas up here, but I added some stuff. I put some more delphinium, feverfew, and some of them aren't perennials, but they said they might reseed, and I wanted to see how that goes. And then over here, it's looking a little rough right now, but this is where I grow all my tulips. And then in between where my tulips grew, I went ahead and I added some more gladiolas, so those are all coming up. So yeah, so that's where all the flowers come from. The thing is that I do the same thing every year. So I started and I did all these videos, and I was like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this, and for the most part, none of it's changed. It's all the same. So I was like, well, people can see what I did by just watching my video from my second year of flower farming, where I took a video every single day. I've changed up a few things, but not much, other than the fact that I've just gotten busier. So the tulips, they're still doing good. The main thing I've changed is the black landscape fabric. I did take it off of all my peonies. It worked really well for weed suppression, and then I put some cardboard down and put the mulch down. Obviously, the weeds can't come up through the landscape fabric is good, but I do think my peonies are having one of their best years, and they can get bigger over time and grow out. And I kept cutting bigger holes, and then I was having to weed around those bigger holes. And I thought, you know, I could just mow with a small mower down the rows if it got too bad, and I thought I'll just try mulch and see what I can do. And so far, pulling the weeds out of the mulch has been much easier than trying to pull the weeds out of that black landscape fabric. So I also, instead of like burning holes and putting every one of my plants in the black landscape fabric this year, I tried to just make the walkways the black landscape fabric, till and put my plants in between the rows of landscape fabric. And I feel like they're doing a lot better this year. I don't know. I have been weeding and trying to stay on top of it. Last year, they didn't mow the hayfield. The people that were supposed to mow it didn't mow it. And so I don't know if that was part of it or just animals coming through, but I had so much grass, even after tilling and everything, just so much grass coming through all those thousands of holes. And it was really, like, I couldn't rip the grass out. Like, I couldn't get it out of the landscape fabric without just destroying my plants. And so I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try, just because I feel like I have more of a problem with grass than I have with weeds. So I was like, I'm gonna try that. So that's what I'm trying this year. I'll let you know how it goes. And then other than just the areas I've changed up, I really haven't changed up much, but I have been selling a lot more flowers. And I just stay pretty busy with that. So the way I sell flowers a couple ways. I have a subscription service where I deliver market style bouquets because I'm driving around town anyway all day. So I was like, well, I can do market style bouquets. So I do market style bouquets, and then I also do these vase arrangements. I do have a Google page, and I have titled myself a farmer florist. And I get quite a few orders off of Google for different arrangements and flowers. I get sympathy arrangements. People, ask me to do sympathy arrangements. I haven't actually had any like major work. This year I did a few graduations, so that was cool. And they were a little bit bigger. I made more money on them. I have a few people that do weddings. I promote a lot of do-it-yourself wedding for people that might have a florist in the family, or they just want to get, farm fresh flowers and not have to pay like the retail prices, or maybe they just want to support somebody local, so they buy local from me. So I do that, and I stay pretty busy with all of that. So that's why the videos have stopped. And these are all lilies, so they'll like open up big like these. So I'm not gonna put any tulips in that area. But see, like here, I just have this like blank area. So I'm like, well, I'll add a tulip. I like to do this, so I'll make all these arrangements. I made them last night, put them in the cooler, and then I come out and they've kind of opened up, and I'll be delivering them today, and I like to look for any holes. And then I just add some like last minute flowers. I take my pictures of them, and I get them ready to go. A lot of times when I take a picture of them, it really helps me see like where a flower, like I could use a flower. And those tulips are kind of flanking that peony. I think it looks really pretty. Isn't that a pretty one? It has these like pink flares on it. I think I'm gonna put it way up high. It won't look high, but it'll grow. They grow so far in the vase, it's absurd, really. Okay, I got that project done. I just got a few little tulips. Well, this one got like 4. Just added in. So I think these will be beautiful bouquets and everybody will be happy with them. Okay, so now what I do since I have these done, I usually like take pictures of each one. I'm talking to you on the device I do that with though. So I'll just put it on the center. I'll take a nice picture, and then I go through and maybe make like a video and put out there. I do a lot of pictures of my bouquets on other platforms. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna stop the video. I'm gonna get all the pictures, but I will throw all the pictures in maybe to some nice music. So in a nutshell, that's an update of what I've been up to. I keep pretty busy delivering flowers by the time I cut them, deliver them, and get back out here. Some years the weeds get away from me, some years they don't. Like I said, I haven't really changed up much. I've added that area up there to grow more perennials. I feel like the yarrow is like, it comes back every year, but it's not as big and crazy as it was the first year. And I don't know if that's because some weeds have taken over or what's happening. So I put a bunch of yarrow up there just to make sure that I would have it. My lupine kind of fizzled out this year, which I've been planting my lupine every year. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why this year I just didn't get any. I know it's like a biennial. I know all these things, but I've been planting it since year 1. And I've had lupine every year, and I did the same steps, and this year I didn't have any. but I have a whole row of it that I planted this year, so next year I should have a good crop of lupine, and I might even have it in the fall. But if you have any questions for me, I think the best thing to do, like, would be to drop them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them the best I can, or maybe I can make a video about the subject matter. Still doing my successions, so those are all my successions on the ground. I have Snapdragons, Amaranth, and I think Celosia, and some other things. Don't mind my car because I do the farmer's market and I leave a bunch of stuff in here. And I just brought a bunch of, clean that out. Okay, so, but anyway, the main point is I got these styrofoam things, and then my dad helped me and we cut out the circles for the vases, and it works really well. Like, I wouldn't say I drive like a maniac, but like I just, you know, like it's a gravel road and I go around the corner and, you know, I just go normal speed. But I mean, when you have flowers, they like to tip. And knock on wood, ever since I have this, I haven't had any flowers tip over or spill, and I can transport a ton of flowers now. So it works really well. I'm loving it. And I had looked up like the vase carrying foam pads, and they are like $700, $800 each, and they hold like 4. And I was like, geez, that's a lot. So I went on Amazon, and I could look it up, and I found those thick foam pads. They are, I was thinking they would be like softer and more like pliable. There's not much give in what I got, so there might be a better material out there. Although I've never had a vase fall over, and I just cut out a little bit more if I need it, and it's been phenomenal so far. So I don't know that I wouldn't get the same material again. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it's working fantastic. So I'd probably get the same material again. But I just got them, and I think they were sheets, and they were pricey too. They were like $100. But to not have, you know, I've had vases spill over in my car. I've had to run back out to the farm and redo arrangements. Your car starts to stink really bad as you're like driving around with all that water that's spilled in it. And I haven't had any of that. Oh, and I also, yes, I do have a different vehicle now. I guess I did get that last year when I hadn't made any videos. So I got in a wreck, and nobody was injured, nobody got hurt, but I completely totaled that little black Civic. It might have been a blessing in disguise because I can fit all my farmer market stuff in this, and I can leave some of it in there and not have to unload it every time, so it's just more efficient. And then those flowers fit much better, and when I do like tall sympathy style arrangements, they fit in here. I used to try to get them in that Civic, and I'd break off like top flowers, and it'd be so, you know, it's just frustrating because you make something and you're like, it's so pretty, and then you go to deliver it and you like bust off the top, and you're like, and you don't have any more of that flower or something, you're like, oh, so you pull it and it's still pretty, but you're like, it wasn't what I wanted. So this car holds a lot taller arrangements, although it's not as nice on the gas mileage as the Civic. So pros and cons. I think that's it. I'll probably think of other things I've changed, and I'll try to just pull out and do a video and say, oh yeah, like I've changed my method in this. But for the most part, I still sit in my basement, fill all my seed trays, start all my seeds, put them under grow lights. I made an entire series of how I start every seed. I don't think much has changed in that. I did find it very easy to use the paper towel with the plastic baggie method. I started lupine, I started delphinium. Oh my gosh, I had almost 100% germination this year on those. So there's like a few of the seeds that I've changed how I do it. Like I use that little bag method, and mainly the way I do it is if the seed is pretty big, like a pea or bigger, I use the bag with the wet paper towel, and it works very well. And then if they're tiny little dinky seeds, I just go ahead and start them in the trays. So I do all of that. I prep my field a little different. I didn't use the burned holes this year. I used the landscape fabric as pathways. I bought the semi-load of mulch last year and put it down around all my peonies. I put it down around the perimeter of my deer fence, and I've just been trying to slowly keep weeds out and add cardboard. I might get one more semi, but I mean, a semi mulch is not cheap. Like, it's a pretty big expense, but if it can save me time and make me more efficient and give me more time in my day, I'm all for it. So I think I'm gonna keep going with the cardboard mulch, because not only does it seem to be working so far, you know, for little cost, but it also puts back into your soil and makes your soil better. I just don't see how your soil can be good with that black landscape fabric all over everything. And like this year, my lavender's supposed to last about 10 years, but a bunch of plants died out this year, and I don't know why. I haven't changed anything. I didn't do anything different. And maybe it's just simply that landscape fabric isn't as good for it. You know, like maybe it's meant to be like ripped up every year. Or, I don't know. So we'll see how my plants do this year, not in the landscape fabric. And if they do a lot better and they grow a lot healthier and prettier, then I'll probably start trying to figure out how I can use mulch and compost. I mean, it is probably pricier in the end, and then I wasted my time with the landscape fabric. I still have a ton of it, but you live and you learn. You try things and you see what will work best. So I think that's about it. I mean, most of it probably looks very similar. Maybe we can do a walk up around the pond. I still mow all of that. I used to call it the dog park, but I still mow it because I think it's nice to go up there and just kind of like go through the pond and stuff. It doesn't take long. I have my tractor now. I have a tiller, I have a mower, and I'm in the process of trying to figure out what I want this year. So I think when I started, I had a wish list, and I believe I wanted to get a tractor, I wanted to get a tiller, I wanted to get a fabric layer, which they do have the biodegradable film, so that might work. So it's still up there, but I'm not, like, that's not a priority. I wanted to get either a hoop house or a greenhouse, and I wanted to get a gator, and I needed to get a new car. So I got the tractor, I've got the tiller, and I've got the car. So this year I needed to decide what would be the most beneficial for me. Would it be a hoop house, or would it be a gator? Or do I save my money for an actual greenhouse type structure? So I haven't decided. I'm up in the air, and I've been thinking about it since last year. I've been like, okay, what's next? What do I want to get next? And I think the gator would make me more efficient and faster, and I would probably get more done. But at the same time, I also feel like it's my exercise, like walking back and forth to the field. And after you're in the hot sun all day, the last thing you want to do is go be back out in it later at night to go like on a walk or a run or whatever. So I'm kind of like, but then when you're cutting tons of flowers and you have all those buckets of water, which I haven't quite got to that season yet, because the peonies I just cut and put in those crates and walk them up here. But pretty soon I'm going to have like buckets like of water, and yeah, I might want a gator. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's all that's changed. Again, if you want to put something in the comments or you have a question for me, maybe we can pull out and do a video about the subject matter. You can probably find the subject matter in a past video. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. I'm all good, and I hope everybody is having a great day. Where's Rubble? Say hi, Rubble. Get out of the car. You can't be with the flowers, Rubble. You want to say hi to everybody? You got a scratch on your nose because you stayed out last night and catted around. Rubble, what are you doing? Want to say hi? You see the Rubble cat? He's such a friendly cat. But, yeah, so they just kind of stay in there. Like, no matter how I drive, they tend to stay in place.